Here's the stuff that you want to know in terms of technique. And it's going to take some patience and take some exploration and most importantly, communication. The better way to go about communicating with your partner in this sort of experience is ask them like, does that feel comfortable? Does that feel good? You know, how does that feel? Does that, you know, yes answers, no answers are good. You know, you don't want to have to get into a whole descriptive diatribe about things. So, you know, does that feel good? Is that enough pressure? Are you comfortable? Make sure you're not on her hair. Make sure that her hips aren't cramping. Make sure that you're supporting her physically and emotionally through the whole experience. Once that's said, and you've watched the video of the anatomy of squirting.
Really important.
Watch that because it'll make a lot of things clear about what I'm about to address. Is then slowly take your time. It's a lot easier to get your partner to squirt or ejaculate after they've already had an orgasm. So depending on your partner's recovery time, you know, go down on your partner, have intercourse, do whatever you guys have already explored that helps her get to or achieve an orgasm, or at least take a lot of time to warm up. Foreplay is really, really important during G-spot orgasms because there is a lot of pressure and it is quite vigorous. So make sure that you are taking the time to warm up. Once you've warmed up, the G-spot itself should have more fluid in it. And if it doesn't, don't worry. Gentle manipulation will start that moving. You're going to take one finger or two fingers. I find the best way is two fingers in the middle of the middle two fingers as opposed to these two fingers, but some people find that works really well. I just find that I have the most endurance through these fingers because the tendons connected in the forearm there are the strongest as opposed to these two fingers together. Guys, make sure your fingernails are cut. Make sure your nails are trimmed. Can't say that enough. Make sure your hands are clean, your nails are trimmed. The one thing you do not want to do is scratch your partner. It sucks. It
internally
hurts. It hurts. The one thing you don't want to do is during this motion be raking those fingers across that very, very delicate corrugated tissue because it will tear. Once you've done that, prep your partner, warm up with your partner, clitoral attention, massage the entire vulva. So all the external area, labia minora, labia majora, cup that whole area in your palm and just kind of roll your palm and massage that whole area because what that's going to do is that's going to engorge the entire area with blood. It's going to increase the volume of blood to the area. It's going to increase sensitivity because those nerve endings are going to be standing on end, lit up, and pushed forward. And that's what you want. You want a lot of sensitivity, so you have to work less and apply less pressure eventually. Don't be embarrassed if you need to put some lube on your hands. Put some lube on your hands, spit into your hand. Any of those things will help, and you can actually make that really sexy. That can be really sexy play. So, you know, get her to wet your fingers using her mouth. Those are great ways to kind of keep everyone in the experience. Once you've done that, you know, one finger or two fingers, whatever your partner is comfortable with, whatever the experience for you has worked for. I found the broader the surface that you're entering with gives you more surface area to apply pressure. Otherwise, it can feel kind of pokey and stabby.
Yes, that's not good.
Yeah, so again, like I was saying, I use both finger pads to apply wide pressure so the whole area is getting some stimulation as opposed to just one finger where it tends to be a little bit pokey and raky. If it feels like you're poking, then she's going to feel it's poking, and it's going to feel doubly worse for her.
Hey,
yeah,
Will, does this feel good?
G-spot, G-spot,
Does this
G-spot.
feel good?
Not fun, not fun. It's like if she took the end of your penis and just sort of poked at it. Not fun. But if she takes the palm of her hand and rubs that around on the surface, big, broad surface, lots of nerve endings are getting contact. So same sort of idea with the G-spot. Once that's happening, then it's really about consistent, increasing, steady pressure. Take your palm, put it on the outside of her body, on the mons pubis, but directly sort of above that. And again, in the anatomy area.
So we're talking, just so that we're clear, what area are we talking here?
Okay, so the mons pubis area, here's her vulva. Directly above this pubic bone area, you'll feel a softer spot where it kind of pushes in more. Below that, you'll feel pressure against the pubic bone, and that's not what you want. You don't want to be pushing on the pubic bone because you'll push her down away from you. Once you've located that soft area above the pubic bone, you're going to use the heel of your palm and apply gentle pressure at first. Don't just get in there and like lay down on it.
Like you're
gentle
not
pressure.
giving her CPR, guys.
Yeah, this
okay?
this is not something where you're kind of like jamming into it.
Yeah.
What you want to do is a little bit of pressure and sort of just start pushing your palm down this way and just start tilting it down, and that's going to start bringing her mons pubis and tilt it in, and that's going to put pressure on the G spot, which is also going to make it more accessible for you. What you're looking for internally there is once you move in and upwards about 2 to 3 inches inside. That'll vary with your partner. So feel around gently. Look for that area and you'll feel the texture change. It'll go from a smoother kind of rich surface to a rougher, more spongy surface. Right? And that's where you're looking for. You're trying to find the center of that spongy surface. And that tissue is what's been filling with the liquid from the Skene's glands. And that's the ejaculate. That's the squirt that you're looking for. Pressing down here, coming in underneath, and you're going to start just by stroking and drawing, long dragging strokes, making sure your fingertips are well lubricated. You're not just drying the area out or rubbing the area dry, which can happen. So make sure you still are drawing moisture from inside the vaginal canal to kind of wipe and pull against that surface. So you're going to keep doing that, drawing, drawing, drawing. As she responds, keep checking in with her. If you feel your partner starting to move her hips back from you, let up on the pressure. Now, once you're doing that, you'll gradually increase the pressure. Once you're increasing the pressure from the outside and inside, you can rotate your fingers against each other, against the palm, so you're moving your fingers inside while rotating your palm on the outside, still maintaining this thing. So essentially what you're doing is you're massaging this area. You're massaging this area to kind of bring this forward, massage it, bring it forward, massage it, bring it forward. There's a certain point called the pre-orgasmic plateau where things are kind of a make or a break. This is the time where your partner probably feels like she has to pee, all right? And that's because that sponge is now so engorged and so full of fluid that there's pressure that will feel very familiar to a woman that feels like she needs to pee, but she doesn't. And don't worry about that. Just tell her it's okay. Tell her to let it go. Tell her that's what you want. Tell her everything's going to be great. You know, just let her know that you're there and that you're okay with that experience, and that's something that she can do and feel safe doing, right? You've already put down the towels. Everything's good. Everyone knows what their role here is. At that point, what you might want to do at that point is get a little bit more leverage, and you're going to tap. Your fingertips are tapping, 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 tapping. I'll rotate like that. They're tap, 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 while lifting your arm a little bit. Right? Palm stays down, tap, 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 tap. And the reason you're doing that is because that kind of consistent tapping is letting up hard, letting up hard, letting up hard. That alternating pressure is really, really going to kind of drive those sensations over the edge, but it doesn't feel as insistent as that constant pressure. You don't want to get to the point where you're just squeezing.
Yeah.
You're not juicing a lemon here. Seriously, you can exercise and train for this. Get a stress ball. Like, you know, those like cheap little 50-cent stress balls. They get them all over. They're spongy. Right? Once you get these stress balls, start by doing this. Take those fingers that you're going to use and just start pulse, 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 pulse. And just do that. You need to be able to do this for like easy. 5 to 10 minutes. If your partner doesn't squirt, it's not the end of the world. Keep trying at it, keep knocking it out, and you know what? Keep coming back to it because, again, like I said, the more you introduce it, the more you get familiar with it, the more comfortable you are, the more likely it is to happen.
Right. But it does not mean that she's
not
enjoying it, or it also doesn't mean that she's not having a G-spot orgasm, right?
Absolutely. So you can have a G-spot orgasm without squirting. They're not one and the same thing. One is an expression of the other. So one's a result of the other. So because of that, you can have amazing, amazing G-spot pressure orgasms without squirting, and they're not indicative of each other. So don't be stressed out about it. Don't be worried that the volume of fluid isn't what you were expecting.
Will, thank you so much. He's laughing at me because this is our third take.
Yeah.
If you have any questions beyond this, definitely send them to us. I can get Will's input. My email is askyourbigsisterabout@gmail.com. And of course, as I said before, this will all make a lot more sense to you if you do watch the anatomy video, Anatomy of Squirting. So I will put a link to that down there, and also a link to Will's website. so you can check him out.
Also, watch all of Kinga's other videos. The more you know about everything, the more it relates back to the same thing. So don't just go in this looking myopically just to look at this one thing. Watch the videos that we made, especially watch the video for women too.
Yeah, watch the video for women. We made a squirting video especially for women as well. So that's a really interesting one. You want to get their perspective. You want to, it's like the inside edge of squirting.
Always,
you know what I mean?
Always get all the information. The more information you have, the more confident you're going to be going into any situation.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe down there. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Down here. Down
thanks,
there.
guys.
Down there.